Hi, I'm Greg, and welcome to a very special episode of Passion of the Geeks Unplugged. You might have noticed that Pat and I are celebrating our first podcasting anniversary. And so I thought I'd take a break from talking about geek and pop culture and everything else we enjoy and talk to you a little bit about music. Our theme song, to be more specific. Yes, this 1 year anniversary, let's have a quick look at the piece of music that we used to introduce our podcast. So I played around with my audio interface a little bit, and if everything works out the way I intended, I can play you some music, talk to you a little bit about my process, maybe divide our theme up in tracks, show you certain parts of it, and just give you a little bit of an insight into how and yes, I'm the composer, in air quotes, of our theme. So you're probably familiar with the theme. It's the theme that goes like this. You've heard this before. It's basically the start and the end of all our episodes. We have different versions. So for example, I made a Christmas one with bells. But basically, it's the same piece of music. But let's analyze. Let's analyze it a little bit. So I use a Mac, so GarageBand was on it, and I started to play around with GarageBand a little bit. So first step, I needed a bass line. I needed some harmonics. I needed some chords, kind of to lay at the bottom, to basically get something to improvise a little bit on, because I play an instrument, I can read sheet music and everything, but I'm not a composer. So for me, it's more like trial and error. So I thought long and hard, and where do you start? So I started with a simple kind of chord progression that you might know from somewhere else. Sound familiar to anyone? Yeah, it's just a very simple classic 4-chord progression that I might have borrowed from Pachelbel. But that being said, if you play around a little bit with your different tracks, so for example, if you use one of the software instruments that GarageBand offers, for example, if you take something that's called bass patterns, you get a sound like this. And I have to admit, this just sounded really cool. Maybe it's this kind of almost this vibration in there, but it felt dynamic enough, and I thought, okay, this is the thing I'm gonna use. So what do I put above that? So I played around a little bit. So what kind of notes can I use to what fits? So I came up with this. I'm using a Micropulse, another synthesizer. I decided early on to use some synthesizers. But it's simple, but together with the bass line, it sounds like this. And this is probably one of the parts that you usually don't hear. But so obviously this is not nearly cool enough. So let's just double the bass patterns and use some epic synthy strings for that. Why not? You have them. We're sci-fi geeks, so this was kind of the idea of using a little bit sci-fi elements. And while I'm doubling things, why not double the Micropulse as well and some kind of chip tune? Just to add something to it. And obviously, if you kind of listen to everything together, it sounds like this. You can hear I also played around a little bit with the dynamics, but this is it. It's just two different tracks doubled. But okay, so you need a melody. And this is the part where I obviously struggled. Because, as I said before, I'm a lot of things, but I'm definitely not a composer. So yeah, I mean, what I basically was trial and error. I played around. I listened to basically my bass pattern. I think for the recording session of the theme, I left everything out. And it was, I played around a little bit. And what I came up with was this. It's a simple melody, and because I'm using an easy harmonics pattern or easy chord patterns, I can just repeat it with some variation. I mean, it's not much, but together with the bass, it doesn't mix well. So the plan was never to use a piano, but I mean, obviously you need to use some synthy stuff for that. And I thought, I mean, the theme should dominate the music or kind of the whole composition. So there is a synthy lead called Dominator. So I mean, why not? This is perfect. This is so great. So I take this. So let's listen to it again. I'm starting with the bass pattern, and I'm gonna add some repeat here, and I'm gonna just show you all the different tracks, how they pop up. So this is the bass. I add the micropulse. Even this is cool. I'm basically kind of going off on my own music. I'm adding the chiptune lead and the synthy strings, and they're coming in the middle. And the second go, we're gonna add the Dominator. This is all there is. It's basically 3 tracks. 2 of them are doubled with different instruments. But that's all there is. Wait. Something is missing. I mean, of course, the drums. Why am I... What are the... where are the drums? You need drums for a thing like that. So I decided early on not to try and drum myself because, I'm not the best composer, but the rhythm definitely not my strong suit. So I tried to look for kind of some drum set that made sense for the rest of the composition. It kind of fit the vibe I was going for. So I came up with something like this, I found something like this. I mean, it's maybe a little bit too clubby, but Passion of the Geeks was supposed to be fun, and I thought, what's more fun than a club dance beat? So, this is basically what happened. I mean, I can go back and show you all the different tracks again, like this. And you see you hear the difference. Obviously, you don't see it. And one thing I added to, kind of pay homage to my love for movies and Pat's love for movies, or kind of generally, because most of the things we talk about are screen related, be it video games, be it television, be it movies. And the comics books we read have become movies. A lot of the books we talk about have become movies. So I decided to add, and that was also part of GarageBand, I decided to add the sound effect of a movie projector. Let's switch off the sound. It's just a movie projector that rolls, and I'm not sure if people notice it when they listen to the theme. But I just thought it kind of gives the whole theme a beginning and an end, and kind of a little bit of background noise that makes it sound a little bit fuller. So this is basically how I came up with the the theme for Passion of the Geeks. Obviously, what we did, we also, as I said before, we also did other themes. So, for example, at one point, we did our gaming origins episode where we talked about early computer games that we just loved. So for that, I basically created or tried to create an 8-bit version of our theme. So I switched out some of the tracks. So for example, the melody, instead of the Dominator, I used chiptune lead. And you notice I sped it up a little bit. That was kind of the idea of, old, kind of, at least for me, these old games that is very high-pitched sound. And I try to emulate that a little bit with some speed. Let's add the bass pattern. A bit deeper. And the 8-bit bass, maybe you listen to that. It's obviously not really 8-bit, but yeah, why not? I also added something called retro fuzz. Yeah, I mean it's silly, and for drums, I changed the drums for that one as well. I used something called Bit Breaker microchip beat. I'm not sure if it's... The idea was maybe to kind of almost like blocks that's, for example, Super Mario gets crushed under, or just a blocky sound. So yeah, that's what I tried to do for this one. And yeah, everything together sounds like... obviously, you need to add a microchip beeper in the beginning. Not sure if it's really 8-bit, but I try to sell the idea of, 8-bitty stuff. I don't know. So maybe, the Christmas version, I played a little bit of that. So what I did, I basically added some bells and used piano and some stringy stuff. I did the same for our unplugged versions. The unplugged are just... because technically unplugged is supposed to be with less editing and less fuss, but obviously Pat doesn't always agree with that. Other story. I'm not sure if I should have said that because I'm not editing my unplugged. I'm just free forming here, so to speak. But maybe I can show you something I'm working on at the moment. I'm working on a heavy metal version that I'm not happy with yet, and it's not done. But it sounds like this. I think the biggest issue I have with this is kind of the heavy metal guitar that plays the melody. It's just it's too much, and the whole bass line and everything it doesn't gel well. So I probably will have to rework this quite a lot. But it's, how should I put it? It's a work in progress, and our theme is robust enough to play around with it a little bit, and I mean, I've listened to it many times. You, dear listener, hopefully as well, and I still think it's a really cool way to start and end our podcast. And I mean, I'm not sure if you listen to our special audio commentary for Zack Snyder's Justice League, because for that one I made a very, 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 very special version that sounds like this. So basically it's some da-da-da-da, and this is backwards because, obviously it needs to be backwards. And one thing that's really strange, but maybe it's just my lack of composing ability. Yeah, and obviously you need the big finale there. So maybe it's just my lack of composing ability. It doesn't really sound that different, whether it's, backwards or not. Yeah, not sure if that's a good thing. So, that being said, maybe for the future I can come up with other versions for other special occasions. If you have an idea how to how to change our kind of what version of our tune to make, be my guest. If you want to play around in GarageBand, just drop us a line. I can share the basic file with you with all the MIDIs, and actually that would be something really cool if our listeners came up with versions of our theme song. That's definitely something I stole from script notes by John August and Craig Mason. But this is it for this very special deep dive episode into our theme song. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why not subscribe to this podcast or drop a rating, 5 stars maybe, on all major podcasting services. That's also where you can find us. And obviously you can find us on passionofthegeeks.com. That's also where you can contact us. Or you can reach us by email, passionofthegeeks@gmail.com. And we're on Twitter at passionotgeeks. Do you want to hear that theme music again? I thought so.